Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm actually going to be doing a mommy Q&A. So I went on Instagram and I asked what type of video you guys wanted to see. It was between a mommy Q&A and a day in my life. And everyone kind of geared more towards the mommy Q&A, so here we are. I'm also going to be showing you how I got this look right here. It's a simple little beat, not even enough to call a beat, but this is what I do on days that I just want to look cute. So if you're interested in any of the things that I just mentioned, just keep on watching. Okay, so it's a few questions, so let's get started. The first question is, are you planning on having more kids in the future? And the answer is absolutely. Me and my boyfriend have already spoken about it, that we would definitely want to have another baby. He originally wanted a girl, and I wanted a girl as well until I found out that it was a boy. Like right before the gender reveal, I was already kind of leaning to like, I kind of want a boy a little bit more. But obviously whatever I got, I was going to be happy with it because it's a baby. It's my baby. It's our baby. But yes, we are planning on having more babies. I said I wanted like 3. I think 3 is like a perfect number. So for contour, I'm just going to use this Fenty Beauty matchstick in suede. It looks like that, and this is what I always use to contour my face. It's my favorite. It just melts into the skin. So yes, we are planning on having more kids in the future. Miles is 5 months now, and I feel like when he's like 2 and a half, I think that's like the perfect time to have the second baby, because then they're closer in age. And I have a brother and sister, but I wasn't like raised with them, so my siblings kind of are my cousins, like my aunt's kids and stuff. They all, for the majority, had just like one kid, the ones that were always together. So we're each other's like siblings, like we were always together every single weekend, and I want my son to experience that. I want him to be around a lot of kids, but when they're not around, I want a house full of love. If that makes sense. I just want a lot of love in the house, a lot of kids in the house. And it was the same for my boyfriend as well. He has siblings, but they're all younger. He's the oldest one. So his siblings were his cousins growing up. So he also wants Miles to have siblings. And we don't want to wait way too long. Like, to me, it just doesn't make sense to have a kid and then have like 8 years go by, you're out of the baby phase, and all of a sudden you have to go through the baby phase all over again. I mean, if it works for people, it works for people. But for me, oh man, that would suck. I would like to just get it all out of the way at the same time. Do you guys hear Miles crying in the background? Grandma's here. My boyfriend's mom is here. I don't know what's wrong with them. He just started crying out of nowhere. A little crazy, but so I guess there's gonna be a little bit of crying in the background as they try to calm him down, but that's okay. Oh, this like is so intense out of nowhere. Oh, relax. This is what really goes on in our lives. He just starts crying for no reason. Well, baby doesn't, right? Well, baby doesn't. For foundation, I'm going to be using the L'Oreal True Match foundation. This is what I use when I want like a more lightweight, natural-ish finish on my face. And I'm in the shade W4.5. So the next question is, were you nervous about not knowing what to do as a first-time mom? And I definitely was. I've been around babies before, like young babies, but obviously they were never my babies, so I could just get them back when they start crying or when shit goes left. Like, you only see what other moms or like parents want you to see. You don't get to see like the sleepless nights. You don't have to deal with all the crying during the day and all that. So I was definitely nervous, but I knew that I was ready. I mean, and you're never really ready for a baby, like financially, emotionally, physically, and I feel like you're just never really prepared. You just kind of go with the flow of things and you just learn as you go. Like, I knew how to hold a baby, I knew how to change diapers, I know how to feed them, but there's certain things that obviously like I was gonna be clueless about because I've never had to deal with a baby of my own. I knew how to do like the basic things, but I was more nervous about like feeding in terms of like, am I feeding enough? Because I didn't know how much to feed him. You start giving the baby more milk and stuff like that as the weeks go on. When to bathe, what products to use on him when we did bathe him, like lotions and soaps. And I was also more like stressing like, is my baby going to latch? Like, how do I do that? What techniques can I use to ensure that he latches onto me so he could have milk. If he was gonna like me, like I didn't know. I didn't know these things. So those were things that I was more nervous about, not really like the essential things. For concealer, I've been loving the Mylee Conceal and Perfect Longwear Concealer, which looks like that, and I have it in the color 125 Light Natural. Okay, so the next question is number one baby necessity. Ooh, it's more for me and baby, and that would be a reliable breast pump. This kind of goes into the question before. I didn't know how much to feed my baby. He's not screaming, he is laughing right now. Or Papa Bear. No, he's fine. Okay. And I quickly touched on this when I did my story time about when I gave birth during a pandemic. I started hearing the pumping sound of like the machine saying bad mom, bad mom, bad mom to me over and over and over for days and days and days. And actually it might have been for the first like few weeks. But at the beginning, anytime I put on that pump, that sound would be bad mom, bad mom. So I would invest in a very good silent breast pump. Feeding for me was one of the things that I was most nervous about. Like I stressed this so much that I started hallucinating and hearing things because I didn't know how much to feed my baby because of the wrong information that I was given. So originally I had the Medela pump, that demon pump. My mom had already gotten me the Spectra S2, S3, S2, something like that. It's like a pink one. I'll try to insert a picture. So that's the one that I originally had when it was on the baby registry. So my mom got it for me. But since my insurance gave me the Medela for free, I was like, all right, I'll use the Medela first. I was telling my mom, just return the Spectra one. She said, no, just in case something happens to the other one, you have this one. Thank God, because I gave up on the Medela one and I started using the Spectra one. It was like silent. You hear like a little bit of noise, but it's nothing compared to the Medela one. So another reason I consider that a necessity is because I didn't know how much milk I was gonna be producing. When the baby's latched on, I don't know how much he's actually drinking. And they say, oh, you'll know, depending on the amount of wet diapers and, duty wipers, depending on the number of dirty diapers throughout the day. I don't have time to be waiting throughout the day. Oh, did he pee 6 times? Did he poop 4 times? No, I don't have time for that. I want to know exactly how much I'm giving my baby. Does that make sense? So let me just try to break it down again. Baby necessity for me was a breast pump because it's easier on my sanity. It helps me out mentally. And I know how much milk I'm producing and I know how much I'm giving my baby. Make sense? All right, let's put on some concealer because I'm here talking and I haven't put on concealer. Might have put on a little too much. And since we're on that topic, let me just tell you about my other necessities. Definitely like a thermometer, obviously a stroller, a bassinet. My boyfriend had the idea of getting a rocking chair, so we got a rocking chair, and I'll also link that one below. And a baby monitor. Oh my God, so important because he has his own bedroom. Okay, maybe I should like start, blending this out. So Miles has his own bedroom, but he didn't have a baby monitor. So we didn't really want him sleeping in there without the monitor. So we just always kept him in the bassinet next to our bed. And then we started putting him by himself in the room and we would just leave our doors open. But that would mean that the cat would be in his room and in our room, and we don't want that. So someone as a gift got us the baby monitor, and that was like the best present I feel like ever, because we were able to sleep through the night. When he's next to us, any little like sound he makes in the bassinet, we're like, is he okay? Is he all right? Is he breathing? Like you're super paranoid. When he's in his room, you kind of can just like look. Yeah, you'll still be like, okay, is he okay? But you'll look and you can tell that he's like breathing. You can see everything. He's fine. So I feel like a baby monitor is so important. I would say if you're going to be bottle feeding, even if it's breast milk, but you're going to be doing it through the bottle, a bottle warmer. We have the one from, I think the brand is Munchkin, and that one is amazing. And I would say the liquid detergent from Dreft. I love that one. That one's really good. I don't even know if there's other brands. I'm sure there are, but that's the one that I was recommended, so I use that one. Aquaphor diaper rash cream, very important. A&D we use more than the Aquaphor one. That one's like an everyday thing. Like after every diaper's change, we use that. But the Aquaphor is more for like if the A&D didn't work to prevent like a little diaper rash, then we'll use that one as like a thick white paste, and that one like cures the diaper rash in like 2 hours, 3 hours. It's amazing. Did you get postpartum depression? Mine hit me like a ton of bricks. LOL. Just kidding, but really not a joke. LMAO. Yes. Yes, I did. Before I answer that, I'm just gonna set my face with the, I can't even hold this right, the ColourPop Loose Setting powder in translucent. It's one of my favorites. It just gives like a sheer like finish, which is very important to me. As I always say, nothing too thick on the face. So yes, I definitely got postpartum depression, especially because of COVID. People usually come over when you have the baby, and like grandparents usually come over to help. Even if they're not like helping you with the baby, at least they're just keeping you company, like speaking to you so you can vent, all of that stuff. I missed out on a lot of stuff, and I held on to that. Like I missed out on having a baby shower for him. I missed out on maternity photo shoots. Like all those things were so important to me that I felt like guilty when I didn't get to do any of that stuff with the baby. So I was super depressed from that. I couldn't see my family. Nobody was able to meet the baby the first like 3 months, and that was really sad for me, because one of the things was like my family loves babies. Both of our families love babies. It was like they were also robbed of that experience of seeing him when he was a baby. That was depressing. The whole pumping thing was depressing for me as well, because there's this thing that I feel like doctors don't even know why it happens, but women get like anxiety when they're pumping. I don't know so much about like just actually like latching on. I get like the rush, like a crazy rush of anxiety, and I feel like my heart just drops down to my ass, and I want to just cry. Like I remember crying so much in the first like month. I would even just look at him and I would just start crying. It was like this happy sadness. It was so weird. But my anxiety is through the roof still. I'm still battling with that. So overall, yeah, I definitely went through postpartum, and I'm still going through it. It's definitely a little easier now to deal with because it has been almost 6 months since I had the baby. But yeah, not seeing my family, the pumping thing, like sometimes I would go a little too long without pumping, and then my body thought, oh, you don't need to have all this milk in here, so let me just, from 6 ounces, let me just go down to 2. And that's not enough for the baby. So I would get depressed about that. I couldn't go to the gym. So even with this COVID thing happening, it's not like I could take my mind off of it, because gyms were closed. Our gym in our building was closed as well. It was like a battle going out into the world to even do like regular errands. It was like you're going into war. So I feel like I just couldn't escape the anxiety and the depression. Do you hear this baby just cracking up over there? To bronze, I'm actually gonna be using this new bronzer. Well, it's not I don't think it's a new bronzer. It's new for me because I just bought it from Mylee. It's the Silky Matte bronzing powder. It looks like that, and I got it in the color 2, Sun-Kissed. If I can find a way to open this, that'd be great. Might be a little too light. Oh, that looks a little bit light, and it might look a little ashy. Oh my god, and to the girl who sent me that message before about the depression hit her like really hard, I'm sorry. I feel so bad. I wish that I could help everybody, because I feel like that is like one of the worst feelings ever. Next question is, this is not a question. When are you having a girl so I can steal her? That goes back to my, what was it, my first question? Yes, about me having more kids in the future. That's when the little girl is gonna come. Next question. Are you and your husband living alone with the baby? How do you handle the financial situation? Yes, we are living together. So he's not my husband yet. We live alone with Miles, and it works out great. We pretty much go half on everything. Rent, baby necessities, not even baby necessities. Whoever just buys it. It's not that serious. Light, he'll pay or I'll pay. Like, it just depends. You definitely have to like communicate with your partner when it comes to that, because things can get hard. You guys can hit a nice little rough patch when it comes to like financial stuff, especially when there's a baby involved. So definitely just communicate, man. That's very important. Okay, next question. Are you breastfeeding or using formula? Before I answer that, I'm gonna just start applying some mascara. Always my Mylee highly rated. There we go. So I'm actually breastfeeding, like pumping, I'm giving him more of that milk, my milk, than I am formula. So what happens is I pump, and I'll pump about 4 to 5 ounces or something like that. And then if he drinks 7 ounces, so let's say if I pump 4 ounces, there's 3 ounces left that he needs to like drink. So I'll give him 3 ounces of formula. There was actually a point where like if I took too long, or that still happens, if you take too long to pump, you're supposed to pump every 2 to 4 hours. But if I waited more than that, that's sending signals to your body saying that you don't need that much milk to be produced. So it kind of starts going down, like your supply starts going down. And that was one of the reasons that I was depressed and I got a lot of anxiety. So when that would happen, I would use Similac. That's what I use, Similac for him. That's what I've been using since we were in the hospital when he was born. So I just decided to stay with that since his body was already kind of like used to that one. And then on like days that like I wasn't producing that much, I didn't want to use Similac. I felt like I was doing my baby wrong by giving him formula, which is not true. You're gonna like beat yourself up about it at first, but you don't have, that's not the way to think. That's horrible. Think about moms that just can't produce milk and they have to give their baby formula. Their baby's just fine. I feel like there's other women who like make you feel like you're a bad mom if you don't give your baby breast milk, and that is not true. That's horrible. And I thought the same way because that's what had been not taught, not from my family and not from my boyfriend's family, but just other people in general. I would hear that and I'm like, oh my God, I guess I can only give him breast milk, and I better hope that I can produce breast milk. And that is definitely not the case. You can give your baby formula if that's what works for you. And even if you are making breast milk, but you don't want to be there breastfeeding all freaking day, and you don't want to be pumping and attached to a wall all freaking day, you can give them formula. That's fine. Don't worry about it. That's fine. At first, I like beat myself up about it, and I felt like I was a horrible mom, but that is not the case at all. Sometimes, you know, my anxiety while I'm pumping is so bad that I'm like, you know, I'm about to say this shit, I'm gonna just give him formula. But if my body can still do it, then why not, right? So that's how I feel about that. I feel like women should stop putting other women down about not breastfeeding or about breastfeeding. And listen, do you with your child, with your babies, like mind your business. Next question is, did your body snap back after having a baby? So it didn't like, there was nothing to snap back to. I wasn't like a fit person before that. Like I have a low food plot and I wasn't eating the best on top of that. So if you're eating crappy food and you're just sitting all the time, all that is staying right there. So I'm not like thin, but I'm not thick either. I'm like somewhere in the middle. I'm like average, and I'm not like super curvy. It's like I am, but not really. It all depends on like what I wear and stuff. But yeah, there was nothing to snap back to, I feel. It sounds horrible to say because you should always love your body. And technically, yes, I did go back to what I was before I was pregnant. So technically, yes, I did snap back because I am down to what I was before the pregnancy. I'm actually a little bit more than what I was before I was pregnant, but I feel like my body just looks different. I look at my pictures before I was pregnant and I looked so thick in the face. Like this was so round, my cheeks were out there. It's not like that anymore. I feel like it's a little more like, you know, it's not super chiseled, but it's better than it was before. Like I look at my videos from like a year ago, from like early 2019 when I did like the Valentine's Day stuff. My face was way more round in those videos. So yeah, I guess I just snapped back. Okay, I just snapped back. I was holding this brush in my hand the whole time that I'm talking to you guys, and you guys are probably wondering, is she gonna use that brush at any point in this video? And no, I'm not. Okay, so the next question is, what is the most challenging thing about being a new mommy? Also, can I have your baby? I want to say getting back into the swing of things, making time to do things that I have to do. And like all quarantine, I had my boyfriend here with the baby and me, and I had all the time to do everything, and I just kept putting it off because I just want to be with the baby every minute of the day. Making time for myself, like pampering myself, I need to do that a little bit more often. And I guess I don't do a lot of those things because I get like that mom guilt. Don't ever feel guilty for taking time to pamper yourself, to just go and take a walk, to breathe, to just be by yourself for like an hour. That's where I messed up. Like I was just all about the baby, and there's nothing wrong with that, but you definitely need to take a step back and just kind of just relax and zen and like just go away for a little bit. So that's the most difficult part about being a new mom, is just trying to like get back into the groove and just You know, does that make sense? And for lips, I'm gonna put on, why is there a hair on this? I'm gonna put on this L'Oreal. This is a like throwback. I used to wear this, oh my God, I wanna say maybe almost 10 years ago. It's the L'Oreal Ferris Nude lipstick. It looks like this. It's like a mauvey, rosy, pinky color. And why is there a hair on this? I love that, like, it goes with this little fake tan I got. Actually, it might be a little light. This lipstick might look a little light and it looks like I have no lips, but I kind of like that. Okay, last question is, how were the first few nights being home with the baby? Did he cry a lot or was it a breeze? So the first few nights were interesting because I had no sleep, and I again touched on this in the story time video. I'd had no sleep, like no sleep for 3 days in the hospital, almost 4 days in the hospital. So when I was here, when we got here, my boyfriend said, go sleep, I'm gonna take care of the baby. And I would get up anytime I would hear him cry. And we were just so like paranoid because yeah, we've dealt with other babies, but like I said before, we never had to like deal with babies. It wasn't our own. So now that it was our own and we're living with him, we're like looking the bassinet like, is he okay? Like, why did he move in? Why did he cough? And why did he do this? Paranoia was like on another level. So it was being a new parent and during a pandemic. So that was like, oh God. The first few nights were interesting in that way, but he wasn't like a fussy baby. He would cry, you know, like the way the babies would if they're hungry. If you were hungry and you just got out of the womb, yeah, you probably are gonna cry. It was only difficult because we were just paranoid. So we weren't sleeping, and he came 2 weeks early. So we were still like getting rid of a lot of things in the house. So the house was kind of a mess. It was like a clean mess. It was like a weird mess. Nothing was really in its place, but it was like, it wasn't like trash and stuff like that. It was just things we needed to get rid of, but they were like in a neat place. A lot of activity going on in the house. So, and he came 2 weeks early, so yeah, it was a little bit of a mess. We adjusted pretty quick, I think, especially during these times. Having no help, I think we did a pretty freaking good job. I just kicked the crap out of this tripod. Now everything's all over the place now. It's not in the right place where it was before. Okay guys, so that was the last question for this Q&A. I actually really enjoyed doing that video. That was different. So if you guys want to see me do that again, you could definitely leave some ideas down below in the comments, or you can message me them on Instagram. I'm gonna leave my Instagram here. Oh wow, I forgot to take that off. As good as it's gonna get. I also hope you guys enjoyed my quick little get ready with me. This is like what I do when I just want to look cute, and if we're gonna go out just to enjoy the day, or if I just want to be cute on the couch. I think everything was pretty much affordable except for the Fenty Beauty like contour sticks. So I'm just gonna go enjoy the rest of my day. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day as well, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.